Yeah.
Brock and Mol's relationship was fiery and passionate, but it had its difficulties.
Yeah. You know I can only go to second base.
Still? After all these years?
FlynnsArcade.
Hi, this is FlynnsArcade, and this is my deep dive into the dysfunctional relationship between Brock Samson
Go ahead. Take it from me.
and Molotov cocktease. For the first 4 seasons of the Venture Bros, Molotov was Brock's love interest, and whilst they genuinely appeared to love each other, it wasn't meant to be. The Venture Bros is a show all about failure, so this is the story of Brock and Molotov's failed relationship. Spoiler warning, this is a complete history of Brock and Molotov's relationship, and I will be talking about all the seasons of the Venture Bros, plus the movie, and the proposed content of the cancelled season 8 of the show. I know that some fans haven't seen the movie yet, so you have been warned. It's easy to see why Brock and Mol were attracted to each other. They had a lot in common. They both had unconventional and unpredictable occupations, such as OSI agent and mercenary. They were both in peak physical condition and experts in hand-to-hand combat.
How long has it been, Samson?
3 years, 48 days.
There is a deep respect and understanding there, and because they both hark back to the days of the Cold War, they have the glamour of coming from opposing sides of the Iron Curtain. But as time went on, we learned that they had more than geopolitics which divided them. Season 1 Brock was very different to the character he became later in the show. He was isolated and uninterested in the goings-on of the Venture family.
Hey, Doc. How'd your speech thing go?
All right, I suppose. 1 or 2 of the students really seem to grasp... You don't really care, do you?
Nah.
He had a series of one-night stands with a sex worker he picked up in the pilot,
Was some workout, big man. But I guess you're gonna have to go look for those boys now, huh?
They'll turn up. Besides, I still got $300 left.
an unnamed woman he met in Mexico,
Hola, Señor Samson.
See you back at the X1 in a couple of hours.
and Lieutenant Boldovich,
Right, a man, Brock Samson. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Yeah, you could unzip your spacesuit for me.
He attempted to have one with one of the dancers at Nightingale's, but he'd lost his mojo with his license to kill, so he couldn't go through with it. It looked like he would carry on in this way had it not been for Hank innocently pestering him to reveal why he couldn't listen to a song.
Want to listen to it anyway?
Look, Hank. I have memories attached to that record. Can we drop this, please?
It was because it reminded him of a woman. Thinking about it, his behaviour up until this point was reminiscent of a person who had recently gone through a nasty breakup. We soon learned who the woman was when Dr. Venture invented the Joy Can, a Lotus Eater device which made the user's wildest dreams come true. Brock found his fantasies inside, including Molotov.
Brock Samson, you dog.
Molotov. You bitch.
Brock and Molotov would soon be reunited for real when they teamed up together to storm Brisbane land.
I got mine back in '97.
Hey!
Brock needed to rescue the Ventures and Molotov needed to recover David Bowie's Panda. They worked well together, but we learned that they are very different people. Brock is committed to his duties as a soldier and bodyguard, and Mol is a mercenary and she'll go wherever the money takes her. Brock and Mol first met at the Goodwill Games in 1988, which was Brock's first OSI assignment. He was captivated by the sight of the young Soviet gymnast.
I should have paid more attention. I was distracted.
But he soon learned that she was actually an undercover agent, and the person posing as her coach was actually her father, the KGB assassin, the Siberian Husky.
Siberian Husky, learn your history, man. He was the KGB's deadliest assassin. Guy was a living legend.
Brock wound up offing Mole's dad, and Mole wound up offing Brock's partner.
What I didn't realize at the time was, so was she. And her father trained her well.
It wasn't the most conventional or healthy start to a relationship, but it was there that they found love, and this will continue for several years. If you're enjoying this video, please could you do me a solid and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And now, on with the video. Brock and Mole's relationship was fiery and passionate, but it had its difficulties. For reasons related to her late father, Mole wore a chastity belt, resplendent with the hammer and sickle.
Yes! You know I can only go to second base.
Still? After all these years?
Which added a sense of frustration to their already challenging relationship.
I gotta go take care of something.
Doc and Jackson described Mole as having an electric complex regarding her dad, which explains the chastity belt and also explains their attraction to Brock, who shares a lot of similar traits to the Siberian Husky. After being reacquainted at Brisbyland, the pair kept in touch. Brock trusted Mole sufficiently to cover his work as Adventure's bodyguard when he went on a mission for the OSI. He thought that she'd taken the job in return for a job lot of Levi's jeans to sell back in Russia, but this was actually a ruse. Mole had taken the job because she wanted a chance to take Brock on the run with her.
Oh, and I got some iodine on this. You have time to get that out for me before you run off to play Cowboys and Indians?
Say the word and he's dead. We could be in Monaco by midnight.
Mole believed that if she could toughen them up sufficiently, then Brock would be able to leave them to look after themselves. She spends her time putting the Ventures through a punishing and training regime.
Serpentine! Serpentine! If I was the enemy, you'd be dead already!
Which horrified Dean, but deeply impressed Hank and his dad, which almost led to tragic consequences. Hank was poisoned by one of her stiletto heels.
Yeah!
And whilst hallucinating,
But what are you going to do about it?
he went all apocalypse now on his dad.
Father?
Yes, Hank.
I want to kill you.
That's nice. Play pirate somewhere else, boy. Your father's busy.
But thankfully they both recovered and lived to tell the tale. During her stay, Mole was excited to find Brock's room, and we learned how deeply she felt about him and that his feelings were returned. But we didn't learn this because he'd left roses for her or he'd left a beautiful and heartfelt poem.
I can't believe you kept it.
It was because he still had her eyeball preserved in a jar. But ultimately her plans weren't to be. Horrified by his mission, Brock decided to stay with the Ventures.
Last chance, Samson. What's your answer?
Sorry, Mole, but go Team Venture.
And Mole drove away, leaving a heartbroken Hank behind her. When we next saw Mole, we learned that she'd acquired a crew of henchwomen.
Oh god, they're here already. Everybody take cover!
Car trouble.
She had also embarked on a terrible scheme to use Brock as a human weapon to eliminate any competition for a Blackheart's assassination agency.
So much for our competition. Congratulations, ladies. Just as we planned, we are now the top assassins in the country.
She had hit a new low. She even turned Brock's beloved car, Adrian, against him. Moll was deeply unimpressed when she saw Brock acting as a nanny for the Ventures.
Okay, you're good. Dean, any questions?
Yes, one. What the hell are you doing?
The monthly headlice check, figured out.
And it gave her the ick. And when he saw her wearing a Juicy Couture tracksuit,
You haven't exactly been discreet.
Oh, like that getup is.
it gave him the ick.
That's how you dress when you're not Catwomaning around. I may have to rethink this whole relationship.
Whilst the pair were compatible when they were engaged in their activities of their professional lives, they both started to learn just how incompatible their off-duty domestic personas were. It was the beginning of the end for their tortured romance. After learning of Moll's evil ploy, he attempted to take revenge on our Blackheart's agency, but his plan was quickly derailed by his work for Sphinx.
Sphinx!
We wouldn't see Moll for a while until she showed up to rescue Monstroso, the big bad of Season 4. He was both a lawyer and a supervillain, making him doubly evil. Finally, Moll has found her man, and it wasn't Brock. Moll was prepared to die for Monstroso.
I'd rather die.
And for a while, it looked like she had. Moll was next sighted in OSI Love You. The OSI found her and Monstroso and raided their ship, but the couple still had time to have sex during the raid to rub Brock's nose in it.
We seem to have uninvited guests.
Shall I show them out?
No, my dear. Come, let's give them a show.
They were arrested and interrogated by the OSI, but they wouldn't stay in prison for very long. The investors showed up to launch Monstroso off the side of the OSI hoverquarters, and he is now missing and presumed dead. Moll made her escape wearing Hank's strength suit. But Brock tracked her down and they had a tense standoff. It looked like their relationship was finally going to reach a violent end. However, Moll survived.
I gave Red Hair a list of chores and she took out the garbage.
What? Are you nuts?
She teamed up with her old Blackheart's comrade Hunter, who had hired her as a mercenary to work for the OSI. She was officially declared dead, and there was talk of her having a name change, so this was the last time we saw Molotov cocktease. The implication being that she would continue her shadowy lifestyle, but now she'd have a strength suit and an extra cloak of invisibility. A truly terrifying prospect. I really liked Sheila and Phantom Limb's story arc. They had a difficult relationship and a terrible breakup, but years later they put their differences aside and wound up having a great working relationship, helping to run the Guild of Calamitous Intent together.
All right, the jig is up, Hamilton. Turn it off and come on out.
No way! If Phantom Limb is the sovereign, I'm moving to Canada.
It's more than possible that Brock and Molotov could have gone on to have the same sort of dynamic, and I like to think that they did this off screen. Brock moved on and found solace in his fling with fellow OSI agent Amber Gold.
Gave him that base for Christmas one year. You really got good.
Look at you, practically fit to bust with paternal pride.
Amber had a sweet personality and was obviously unhappy with her partner Headshot. He was arrogant and selfish towards her, and Headshot was also disappointed to learn that Amber wasn't actually a natural blonde. But when Brock moved to New York, Amber was nowhere to be seen. Maybe Brock was finally ready for something more serious. Alexis Warrington was a high-powered current affairs journalist, but by night she was Warriana, the Amazon warrior of the Crusaders Action League. Initially, she and Brock had an antagonistic relationship.
Oh, powerful Heracles, do you wish to strike me?
You want to hit me, lady?
Are you afraid to be felled by a woman?
You afraid of a little man like me?
Oh, let's go.
I'm right here.
But once she used her truth lasso on him, the truth came out and he admitted to wanting to do her. Later, when he was under the influence of god gas, he visited her apartment to declare his true feelings to her. He wanted to worship at her altar and she wanted to break him on her wheel. The next morning, Brock had an awkward walk of shame home.
Hey, I wasn't trying to sneak out or anything. You look busy, and I didn't want to scuff your nice floor.
I struggled with conflicting emotions about what had gone down that night. But Warriana soon bowled up to put his mind at ease and declared him to be her man.
What do you say we take this unsanctioned team-up back to my place and make it official?
The two were perfect for each other. Warriana provided the same challenge to Brock as Molotov had, and she was also hard as nails, but she had a kind and nurturing side. She saw Brock as her brave Heracles, and it was nice for him to finally feel secure and protected after a lifetime of looking after everyone else. But the path to true love never runs smoothly, and Molotov was still around somewhere. She was also single after the demise of Monstroso. But this is where it gets sketchy. I try to run a positive and upbeat YouTube channel, but regulars will have noticed me complaining about the cancellation of Season 8 of The Venture Bros. It has some amazing plot lines, including the return of Molotov. Season 8 was to include a storyline which features Mol's attempts to wreck Brock and Warriana's wedding. I would really have loved to have seen this. There has only ever been one Venture Bros wedding, Sheila and the Monarchs, and that was also wrecked by an ex, the aforementioned Phantom Limb. That was awesome, and I would love to have seen a furious Molotov confronting a protective and outraged Warriana. I can only imagine how that would have gone down, and I'm pretty pissed off that I never got to see it. Upon rewatching The Venture Bros to make these videos, I was really surprised to learn that Molotov was only in a handful of episodes. I misremembered her being in the show all the time. She definitely had a huge presence. Do you have any theories about what she might have got up to when she was working for Hunter? Are you as angry as I am about the cancelled plotline of her wrecking Brock and Warriana's wedding? Do you think the chastity belt storyline was pretty weird? If you don't know what to write, please drop a Go Team Venture, or an Ignore Me, or a Spanakopter, or a Sphinx, because comments really help the channel grow. If you're new to this channel, please check out my playlist. I made a lot of videos about the Venture Bros which you might enjoy. Welcome back to all my subscribers. You guys are awesome, and hello to any newcomers. Thank you very much to my channel members. I'm going to give you a shout out in the video's end card, so look out for that. I'm looking to make more of these long form videos, so it would be great to have input from channel members and into future projects, so please sign up for channel membership if you can. Add me on Blue Sky and Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you've enjoyed this video, please drop me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I upload videos every week, so unless anything comes up in the meantime, I'll see you next Sunday.